Welcome to the pit, where gloves come off, slaps get savage, and soft sports get dragged. I'm the boss, and this ain't no ESPN fairy tale. This is the fight show that hits harder than your favorite sport ever could. Buckle up and get wired. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the boss. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the boss. This is CrackedJaw, GetWired, which is my long form channel. I'm building an empire, and I want y'all to watch me do it. I don't like sports. Modern sports is like the softest thing I've ever seen. I tapped out of watching sports at least during, God rest his soul, the Mamba, right after, his era. And it became the LeBron James era. It was like, nah, I'm cool. The load management and all that old crap. And ChatGPT agrees with me. So we're going to do this show called The Pit. Welcome to The Pit. And it's going to be me and ChatGPT and maybe Grok. Conversations about bare knuckle, slap fighting. And modern sports and how it's like soft. Like I can't put no other words on this foo-foo. It's like anyway. It's WNBA, all of it. The whole modern sports is all WNBA. Hello, ChatGPT. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? What's on your mind today?
All right, so we're going to be talking about bare knuckle boxing and slap fighting, how modern sports has become soft, and that's what led me and you to the same conclusions or not about bare knuckle boxing and slap fighting. And 5 questions.
Hit me with the first one.
All right, first question. Is bare knuckle boxing more real than modern boxing or just more violent?
Boxing is definitely more raw and visceral than modern boxing. It strips away the protective gear, leaving fighters more exposed, which leads to more brutal exchanges. But some argue that it's closer to the original no-gloves fights that inspired modern boxing, capturing that primal intensity. Others say it's with less protection and more direct damage to the hands and face. What do you think?
Back in the day, bare fist fighting, that was the realest that it can get. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with you. Bare knuckle fighting, when it was first introduced, was the purest form of combat. No gloves, no rules, just skill, strength, and survival instincts. That raw, unfiltered approach makes it feel like the realist version of boxing. Who could endure the most punishment and land the most effective strikes? Modern boxing has evolved into more of a sport with tactics, scoring, and protection. So yeah, bare knuckle feels like a return to that primal, no-holds-barred brutality.
Would legends like Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali survive bare knuckle boxing today?
That's a killer question. Both Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali were absolute legends, known for their insane skill, power, and mental toughness. But bare knuckle boxing is a whole different beast. Tyson, with his knockout power and ferocity, could potentially thrive in a bare knuckle environment, especially with his quick, powerful strikes. The main concern, though, would be the risk to his hands. Those brutal punches he threw could leave his hands and wrists vulnerable without the padding. But if anyone could adapt to that, it's Tyson. As for Ali, his unmatched speed and boxing IQ would give him an edge. But bare knuckle is less about fin and more about raw power and aggression. Ali's defensive style, based on movement and avoiding punches, might struggle against the constant pressure of bare knuckle. He'd have to adjust his strategy entirely, but with his toughness and adaptability, it's not impossible. Do you think they'd adjust?
Well, at first I thought yes, until you gave me your whole synopsis about the whole thing, and I agree with you. It would really like mess their hands up. So, I agree. Even though Mike Tyson, he used to like to bare his knuckles into his gloves. I don't think he would last long, because he would be a very quick. He would be the champ, of course, but the damage to his hands. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And as far as what Ali goes, yes, I agree with you that his style doesn't equate or cross over to bare knuckle, because they are allowed to grab, even though they can grab and hold in boxing, but they're allowed to hit on the inside and stuff like that. So I guess his rope-a-dope style and his float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type style probably wouldn't work. So all right, you changed my mind on that one. I appreciate you on that one.
Where only the toughest,
these guys, they just all like for TikTok, and it just didn't do me. And I hadn't watched sports probably in at least 10 to 15 years, as far as like really watched it, because I used to be an avid sports fan. But coming along, I just stopped watching it. And then Conor McGregor, who was trying to get into a fight with somebody on some bare knuckle, and it was blood, and people was getting knocked out, and I was like, yeah, it made me feel like I used to feel when I used to watch Mike Tyson and all those other great heavyweights and middleweights, and just blood in the hands of stone or whatever, slap boxing or anything like that. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan, and I like to watch other people get slapped, but not me. It ain't for me. As far as like seeing it, I appreciate it. I love it, but I won't be participating in it. So let's just say. So let's ask you a question that's off the cuff. We're back. So here's my fourth question.
Take your time, no rush. What's on your mind?
Yeah, here's my fourth question. Why is bare knuckle more exciting than the UFC and boxing combined? I'm just asking the question. I don't have an opinion yet. I'm gonna ask your opinion first, and then I'll give mine.
That's a bold question, and I love it. Here's my take. Bare knuckle boxing feels more exciting than the UFC and boxing combined because of how stripped down it is. UFC and modern boxing, while thrilling in their own right, have evolved with more rules and protective gear. There's a lot of tactical play, like controlling distance, setting up strikes and countering. But in bare knuckle, it's almost like everything is at maximum intensity from the start. No gloves to protect the hand, and fewer rules allowing for quicker, more direct action. Also, the brutal nature of bare knuckle really makes every punch count. There's no padding to absorb the shock. It's pure power, raw skill, and immediate consequences. That kind of edge-of-your-seat fight style keeps fans hooked, as each moment could end the match. The UFC has its share of excitement, but there's often a lot of grappling or decision-making involved. Boxing can be a tactical chess match, but with bare knuckle, it's all about who can survive the longest and land the hardest blows. What do you think? Does bare knuckle trump them both, or do you see something I might have missed?
In my opinion, bare knuckle is definitely more exciting than UFC and boxing combined for me, because I tried the UFC. I didn't really get into it. No disrespect to the UFC, because they out there bleeding too. Just didn't touch me like this bare knuckle and the slap fighting, which we'll get into that. You got something you want to say? Because I see you thinking.
I totally get what you're saying. There's something about the rawness of bare knuckle boxing that hits differently. UFC's cool, but it can be a bit of a mixed bag with all the grappling and ground fighting. Bare knuckle, though, it's just constant action, and every hit feels like it could change the whole fight. And I'm with you on slap fighting too. That's a whole different kind of spectacle that I know we're about to dive into. What's your take on it? What makes slap fighting stand out for you?
Well, it's just visceral. Like, I would never let nobody slap me in the face at all, like ever. Like, male, female, dog, cat, nobody. No, we not getting slapped in the face. And for somebody to actually stand there, male and female, because I've seen it, slapped in the face and take it. And then also when they slap back, they knock people out. It's crazy.
Yeah, slap fighting is absolutely wild. It's that visceral factor that makes it so intense. There's no running, no dodging, just standing there and accepting the hit. And what's even crazier is the mental toughness it takes to not flinch or move, especially knowing a slap can knock you out cold. You can literally see their entire body tense up before they unload. It's almost like a primal challenge of who's tougher, who can take it and keep going. The spectacle of it, no gloves, no defense, just raw power and will, is what grabs so many people. It's like you're watching a test of mental and physical limits all at once. You think slap fighting's going to grow even more, or is it just a crazy fad that will eventually burn out?
It's bare knuckle boxing exposing how soft today's fighters have become in boxing.
I love the energy. Let's get it, indeed. As for question number 5, is bare knuckle boxing exposing how soft today's fighters have become in boxing? In some ways, yeah, it could be seen that way. The level of protection in modern boxing has led to a shift in how fighters approach the sport. Gloves, headgear, and all the rules make it safer, but also somewhat more calculated and less aggressive. It's become more about technique, endurance, and scoring points, while bare knuckle is all about raw power and resilience. Bare knuckle fighters have to throw punches with full force, knowing the risk of injury to their own hands is real. The idea that fighters in today's boxing could be seen as soft comes from the fact that they're protected by padding and allowed to rely on their defensive skills more. When you go bare knuckle, it's about who can withstand the most damage and still come out on top. That being said, not every fighter can transition from glove boxing to bare knuckle. It takes a different kind of toughness, not just physical, but mental too. Do you think bare knuckle is revealing weaknesses in modern fighters, or do you think the gloves serve a purpose in protecting athletes from long-term damage?
I agree with you that it protects athletes from long-term damage. Things like this, and this, I think makes it so visceral for me, and having so much love for like this bare knuckle that just got started. Well, it's been around forever. It's trying to get its treads and its tracks just like we are. Is the fact that any given Sunday it could be over, and that's really how it used to be back in the day. And that's how I feel it should be. I know they have to make money. When I say that it's soft, it's not the padding or the boxing gloves that I say makes boxing soft. It's how much diamonds, ornaments all over their body, and then they get tired in the third round and wonder why they tired, because they got on 200 pounds of clothing. Like, that's why I say it's soft. Like, it's about the show now. It's not about boxing anymore, because I don't see them being able to even have a chin. What do you think?
I hear you loud and clear. The showmanship in modern boxing has definitely taken over, with all the flashy gear, luxury, and focus on the entertainment aspect. You're right, a lot of these fighters are decked out in so much that they lose sight of what the sport's really about. That show culture can make it seem like the fight itself is secondary, especially when they start gassing out because of all that extra weight they're wearing, literally and figuratively. As for transitioning to bare knuckle, that's a tough call. Some boxers with the right mindset and the mental toughness to back it up could potentially adapt. But it's not about just being a great puncher, it's about surviving the punishment. Fighters like Tyson Fury, with his grit and sheer will, could possibly make the transition given his ability to take hits and keep going. But a lot of
No, there aren't any, and that's why I don't watch boxing anymore, and that's why I'm in the slap boxing, and bare knuckle, and that's why we get ready to, take it to where we need to take it.
No worries at all. You're building something big on your birthday, and that's a huge win in itself. I love the mindset. Now let's dive into slap fighting. I'm ready when you are. What's the first question or topic you want to explore?
All right, first question, my girl. Is slap fighting a legit sport or just brain damage with the crowd?
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're going straight for the controversy, huh?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Slap fighting is definitely a legit sport, but the way it's structured, with rules and safety precautions for the most part, it's clear that the organisers are trying to legitimise it. The concept is simple. Take a hit, give a hit. The brutal nature of it makes people question its safety and whether it's just for the spectacle. But like any combat sport, it's about the competition, not just brain damage. It's more about the toughness of standing there and taking it, and not everyone can do that. It takes real guts. That said, it's hard to ignore the risk factor. The force of a clean slap can knock someone out or cause serious damage. There's definitely a line between what's entertainment and what's dangerous. But if done responsibly with medical oversight, I'd say it's a legit sport with a hardcore following. Just a bit more extreme than others. What's your take? Does the risk outweigh the excitement, or is it part of the thrill?
The risk doesn't outweigh the excitement, but it's definitely the thrill of it. And I do know the dangers that it could become from concussions and things of that nature. Sports are dangerous, really. Football until the last 10 to 15 years, but now it's all. You got to protect, I understand protecting people and, protecting people's health. But if you're going to get into certain things like slap fighting or bare knuckle boxing or even boxing or even still football where they get concussions, that's what you sign up for. So me being a fan of those type of sports, I understand it's more like the mano a mano thing for me.
I hear you. For fans of these sports, it's not about glorifying the danger, but about honouring the raw, real competition. The thrill comes from seeing the mental and physical toughness of the fighters. For the pure adrenaline and grit of it. You're absolutely right. With sports like football, boxing and slap fighting, the risks are part of the game, and it's about the fight itself, the heart and courage it takes to go through with it. It's that mano a mano feeling you mentioned, where it's just you against another person, no distractions. That's what draws people in, the realness of it, ready to take.
Would prime Mike Tyson survive a power slap from one of the top guys today?
Oh, now you're hitting me with a good one. Prime Mike Tyson was a beast. That power, speed and explosiveness were unlike anything we'd ever seen before. He had that ferocity that could knock out anyone with a single punch. But in the world of slap fighting, it's a different kind of power. The slap isn't about speed or brute force in the same way Tyson's punches were. It's all about the precision and timing of landing a clean slap.
Seen Donnie long look, but give Tyson credit.
Better when you can't get off punches.
Early in the fourth, can Tyson finish this? I think so. That's it.
Could Tyson survive a slap? Well, if we're talking about a slap from one of the top guys today, like Vadim Berserker or Camille the Slap King, the impact would definitely be brutal. Slap fighting isn't just about hitting someone in the face, it's about delivering that perfect strike that can rattle someone's brain. Tyson, with his chin and toughness, might be able to take it better than most. But the force of a slap is different than what he's used to in boxing. The shock to the head, the disorientation, that could be a different experience for him. I think he'd survive, but it would depend on how clean the slap lands. What's your take?
Here's my follow-up question. Would the two top slap fighters that you just named, would they be able to take a slap from prime Mike Tyson?
Now that's an even better question. Would Vadim Berserker or Camille the Slap King be able to take a slap from prime Mike Tyson? I'm going to say that would be crazy to see. Prime Tyson's punches were legendary. We're talking about world-shaking, bone-crushing power. The guy could knock someone out cold with a single hook. And that kind of punch is different from a slap. A slap, even a powerful one, doesn't carry the same weight or power as a punch, but Tyson's punches were the definition of raw destruction. Could they take it? I think maybe one of them could survive a slap from Tyson, but it would depend on where he lands it. A clean hit to the jaw or chin could knock any slap fighter out cold, no matter how tough they are. But these slap fighters are tough. They've built their endurance to take massive hits to the face and stand their ground. Still, if Tyson delivered one of his famous, devastating hooks, I'm not sure anyone would walk away from that unscathed. Those slap fighters might be tough, but Tyson's prime punches were on a whole other level. You think they could hold their own, or would Tyson's power just be too much for them to handle?
I'm going to be biased with this one, and I'm going to say Mike Tyson would slap everybody back to their childhood. And the two that you named, think that anybody could take a slap from Mike Tyson in the streets, and slap boxing, slap fighting, slapping on the PlayStation 5. I don't think anybody could take a slap from Mike Tyson. And that's just my opinion. I'm kind of being funny about it, but that's really my opinion. That I don't think anybody could take a slap from Mike Tyson, especially the way you talk about if he slapped you the right way. Like, I've seen people go to sleep at that table. So I would see a lot of sleep at the table type stuff, and that would be a whole different type of highlight. So
Tyson's slap would be like a whole new level of brutality, and I can't imagine anyone just shaking that off. You're also spot on with the sleep at the table effect. The moment Tyson lands one of those shots, it's over. No one's walking away from that, no matter how skilled they are. We could definitely make that concept work in a highlight, showing what happens when Mike Tyson enters the slap ring.
Yeah.
So how do you want to start building that idea out? You ready to put some fire into that highlight?
Nah, not yet. That's for later. We still gonna keep on riding. So we gonna go to question number 3. You ready? We going to question number 3. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 3.
Hit me with question number 3.
My bad. I was rushing you. Now you rushing me. All right, let me go. All right. Is slap fighting the craziest thing to ever be called a sport?
No worries. We're both amped up. All right. To your question, is slap fighting the craziest thing to ever be called a sport? I'd say it definitely ranks up there as one of the most insane things ever called a sport. When you first hear about slap fighting, it sounds like something you'd see on a late night show or as a prank, not something you'd expect to see organised in front of a crowd with big time tournaments. I mean, it's literally just people standing there, taking turns, slapping each other. And the best part is there's no protection. it's as raw as it gets. There's something surreal about the idea of it being officially recognised as a sport. But there are other wild sports out there too, like extreme ironing or cheese rolling, where people chase wheels of cheese down hills. Still, slap fighting might just take the cake for being the most jaw-dropping sport to ever make it to the mainstream, especially when it's done at the highest level. What's your take? Is slap fighting the ultimate wild sport, or is there something else that comes close for you?
Well, the wildest sport I've just heard was extreme ironing. I don't want to get off a track, but can you explain to me what extreme ironing is?
Yeah, extreme ironing is definitely one of the weirdest sports out there. Here's the deal. Extreme ironing is basically what it sounds like. People take ironing boards to the most extreme, unusual, and sometimes dangerous locations and iron clothes there. Think mountaintops, underwater, or even while skydiving. The idea is to combine the mundane task of ironing with an adrenaline rush, which turns something as simple as ironing into a daredevil stunt. The sport was started in the late 1990s in the UK, and it quickly gained attention for its absurdity. People iron in places like deep caves, while rock climbing, or even on moving vehicles. It's one of those things that's so strange, you can't help but laugh or shake your head, but at the same time, it shows how far people will go for the most random challenge. Now, back to slap fighting.
Yeah.
That's definitely a lot more grounded in reality, but it's wild in its own right. What do you think about extreme ironing? Could you imagine yourself doing it for the thrill?
Nah, but I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna watch it. Extreme ironing, because that sounds fun for them and for me watching, but not participating. No, I'm not gonna participate in anything extreme. I'm an extreme watcher, not an extreme participator. You get what I'm saying? Number 4, why is slap fighting more viral than boxing and the WNBA combined?
We're hitting them with the big questions tonight. So, why is slap fighting more viral than boxing and the WNBA combined? First off, slap fighting taps into a completely different kind of raw energy that boxing and the WNBA don't always offer. It's simple, it's brutal, and it's easy to understand. Two people standing there slapping the hell out of each other. No complicated rules, no complex strategies, just pure unfiltered action. It's the kind of thing that makes people stop scrolling and think, what the hell am I watching? And it also benefits from being unexpected. Slap fighting came out of nowhere, so it catches people off guard and gets shared around just because it's so outlandish. Boxing, on the other hand, is more established, and the WNBA, while growing, doesn't always spark the same kind of wild viral reactions. People want to see something extreme and unpredictable, and slap fighting offers that. Every slap could be a knockout, and every moment feels like it's building to something crazy. Plus, it's short, it's shocking, and it's got that high-stakes feel that boxing sometimes misses these days. That unpredictable, who's going to get knocked out next vibe is perfect for viral content. You ever seen someone slap so hard it looks like the person got hit by a car? That's instant share material. What do you think? Does the unpredictability and simplicity of slap fighting make it easier to go viral compared to boxing or the WNBA?
Yes, because the slap fighting that I've seen, I've male and female. This was the shot at the WNBA, but also because you're a modern sport. Like it's not because I'm singling out Charlotte's women, and it's not about that. Because even in slap fighting, I've seen some women knock another woman out and her feet went straight up in the air, and then I saw another woman knock a woman out and she got up and did a full frontal flip. From there I said, ooh, listen, I'm not going to participate, but I'm gonna participate. You get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying. It's that jaw-dropping wow factor that makes slap fighting so captivating. Watching someone get slapped so hard their feet go up in the air or doing a full flip is like something out of a wild action movie. You can't look away, and even though you're not in the ring, you're still in the action because it's just so visceral and entertaining. That energy is what makes it stick, and it's easy to see why it goes viral. You don't have to throw the slap to feel that watching it unfold is enough to get you hooked. And yeah, I feel like you've got that excitement in your bones already. We're both in on this one.
Yes, so
ready to take over with that vibe. Next question coming up, or are we turning this into the slap fight empire next?
No. Actually, we're gonna be done.
Yo, y'all just got schooled in the rawest way possible, straight from the brawl room. Bare knuckle slap fights and everything that's taking combat sports back to what really matters, the fight. You want to see more? You want to see the real action? Then hit that subscribe button. Follow both CrackedJaw and CrackedJaw GetWired for all the insanity, because we're just getting started. The Boss and ChatGPT, we're riding this wave to the top, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. You ready to get wired? Let's go.
You just stepped out of the pit. If you ain't bruised in your brain or fired up in your chest, you wasn't paying attention. Subscribe, drop that comment, tell us who needs to get slapped next. The pit, where real hits never miss. Get wired.